Hi fam! It's been a long time since I've done one of these videos. If you've been watching the past couple weeks of videos, yes, I am still wearing the same clothes, but this has been a marathon filming day because I want to be better about filming stuff. Hi to all of you new people. This is a series I do on my channel called Floor Sits, where essentially I sit on the floor and I talk about a specific life topic. It can be anything from really deep to lighthearted to funny to serious to whatever. But today what I'm going to be talking about is a subject that I have been dealing with a lot lately, which is letting go. I feel like I look bald. I do have a bun in. I just wanted to pull my hair up so I could get comfortable and talk with you guys. But the subject I'm going to be talking about today is going to be letting go. It's a subject I've dealt with a lot in the past couple of weeks. A lot has changed in my life, in my personal life, for good. And I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about it, and also talk to you about, in general, letting go. And for me, the experience I'm having right now is letting go of something good. And not because something is bad, because it has hurt me, because it has caused me pain, but letting go because it's time for me to move on to bigger and better things. And for me, that was that I got a new job. If you guys have been watching for a while, you might have known. Some of you subscribed to me because of where I worked before. I worked for a channel called Screen Junkies, which is a massive channel here on YouTube. They do honest trailers, if you've ever heard of honest trailers. I worked for them for 2 years. And it was incredible. It was a wonderful job. It had its hardships. There were nights that I was up really late and up really early in the morning and, you know, constantly running around and stressed, but it was an incredible, incredible, incredible first job. And I just was ready to do something new. And I felt this pull really deep down in my soul that I had more that I could do besides what I was doing with them. And it wasn't because I didn't like them. It wasn't because I didn't like the job. I learned so much from that job, but I knew that it was time for me to move on and that I wasn't completely well suited there. I was kind of settling for something I was good at rather than something that challenged me. And it was time for me to move on. And I can tell you that my last day at Screen Junkies, I cried like a baby. I knew that I was making the right decision, and I had gotten a new job and I had interviewed, and it was the most amazing job for me at the time, but it was so bittersweet. And it was not that I wanted to leave because I was, you know, like wildly unhappy. I just wasn't being fulfilled, but I love the people there so much, and it was so hard for me to let go of that. But I realized that it was a lot like I was graduating. It was like I was moving on, I was flying the coop, and I was on to bigger and better things. And you know, I just wanted to look at it for what it was, which was an incredible experience. It was a wonderful first job. It was a wonderful, you know, learning experience for me as a YouTuber to learn everything there is to know about channel optimization. And I think it's a lot of why that Taylor Swift video did so explicitly well for my channel, was because now I know how to tag a video, how to optimize a video. I did it for 2 years. That was my job, was to upload videos for other people and make them reach as many people as possible. So I learned so much, and that video hit the trending page and I was ecstatic. Like that was the 2 weeks after I left, I had that huge experience, and I was just like, I don't think I would have been able to do that video had I not had that job, but also had I not left that job. And I, you know, was in a place that I could not be super busy, and I could react to that video when it came out, or I mean react to the song when it came out, and film that video and edit that video quickly and optimize it the way I did, had I not had that job and then left it. And it's crazy to me to see how much letting go of things can really change so much. Like this new job I have, I'm not gonna talk about it right now. You might know if you're on Twitter. Like I'm not necessarily hiding it, but I also don't want to like explicitly say, because I'm not associated with them on this channel. I am obviously like working there, but I'm not associated that I'm working this channel. It is still a YouTube related thing. I'm working with talent. I'm getting to be really hands-on in the creator realm of things, and it is such a wonderful job, and like if I hadn't let go of that good thing, then I couldn't have grown. And I think that's what inspired this video. Actually, what inspired this video, this topic, actually was a friend of mine, Mo David, tweeted one day. He said, "How do you know when it's time to move on from something?" And I responded, and I saw a couple other people responded too, and I said, when it no longer serves you, when it no longer adds value to your life, when it no longer, you know, brings you the joy that it used to bring, or it just doesn't serve you as a person anymore. And I think that that's why I decided to leave my job, was that I felt like I had learned what I needed to learn there, and that it didn't serve me to continue being a content manager for another 2 years. And that is a crazy realization to have, because that can happen whether something's positive or negative. I think a lot of times we get used to things that are good and they feel comfortable and they feel safe and stable, but in reality they're holding us back. We're not growing because we're not challenging ourselves. They're not growing because we're not taking a step up and trying something new. And I think that that's important to remember, that sometimes, you know, you have to step away from something. It could be a friendship, it could be a job, it could be whatever, you know, major you are in college or university. It could be that you've been a part of an organization that you loved, but it's time to move on from, and it's just letting go of something good can be as hard as letting go of something bad. But there's also, you know, so much that I've learned in the past year about letting go of bad things too, about letting go of a way of thinking, of letting go of people who are bringing toxicity into your life, of letting go of an expectation you had of yourself or of someone else, and accepting the reality of a situation versus your expectation of it. And that can be really, really hard. And I've done a lot of that. I've gotten a lot of, you know, in the past year, letting go of expectations of myself, of being like, you're still 24 years old, like you have a lot of time left before you need to be ultra successful or be at a certain point in your career, or be, you know, I have friends who are buying houses and getting married, and that's not the point that I'm in my life. And just having to let go of the expectation of I have to be on the same playing field as everyone else, because it's not true. I don't have to be on the same path. It doesn't make me or them any less successful or not successful, or more successful. It just means that we're on different paths, and letting go of that expectation of comparing myself to everyone, letting go of old ways of thinking. I've talked about this in another video. I believe it was my 23 things video maybe, or I can't remember exactly what it is, like other floor sets video, but it's talked about like totally changing your way of thinking, and how that can be so extremely beneficial, of letting go of these old ideas you had about yourself, about life, about how things operate, about faith and religion and family and friends, and letting go of some of the things that you've been thinking for so long that have held you back, and how important that can be for your growth. And it's not because, you know, like for me, I think faith is an interesting one, because I still very much believe in God, and I believe that my life is being guided by God, but there's so much that I don't agree with religion, and the way that people use it as a crutch to not deal with their problems, and how it's used as an excuse for bigotry and hatred, and, you know, making excuses for behavior when we should be doing the total opposite, you know, of embracing people and loving people and bringing them to the light of God, not because we're trying to save them, but we're trying to improve their lives and making their lives better, and knowing the love of God, not the damnation of God, and not the, you know, all this hellfire and brimstone that people like to preach, and letting go of that, like associating myself with that, and saying not all Christians, you know, no, but it's a lot of Christians, and I can say as a Christian woman that I denounce everything that stands for hatred and bigotry, and it drives me insane, because it's just so the opposite of what we're supposed to be practicing as like God-fearing people. And this is on a tangent, but letting go of things like that, of like old ways of thinking that, you know, all these things are bad, you know, or good, or things you grow up learning and you're like, I don't agree with that anymore. Learning to let go of those kind of things, but also learning to let go of people that you may have had a wonderful time with in your relationship, and there may have been really good times, but there were really, really bad times, and not necessarily more bad times, but maybe the incident that happened was so bad that it outweighs all the good. And I had that situation where with a friend that really mistreated me in a way that was so significant that it kind of just eliminated all the good. And it was like, no matter how good things were, that particular incident made things to a point that I could no longer hold on to that relationship, and I couldn't try to fix it anymore, and I couldn't try to put all this effort into a relationship that was one-sided. And I let go of that relationship, and it's been so hard. Like, unfollowing on social media, like, seems so trivial, but at the same time, like, I now no longer have any idea what's going on in that person's life. But because I saw what that person was posting, and it pained me, and it hurt my heart, and it hurt my soul to watch someone who hurt me so deeply just have no regard for what they had done to me, and that they were just carrying on, and they posted something that was really hurtful around the time that we stopped being friends, and I had to let it go. I had to unfollow on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and this is someone I was friends with for a very long time, and it wasn't like it was just a casual friend, but having to let go of that relationship, and it no longer served me to follow that person on social media. I wasn't being the bigger person. I was hurting myself, and I wasn't being the better person by not letting it affect me. It affected me so deeply to my soul. It's one of those things that still hurts me to this day, and it's been almost a year. I guess it's been over a year. Like, I haven't talked to this person in over a year, and it was still causing me that much pain. And I thought I was being the bigger, better person by continuing to follow them on social media and act like it didn't affect me, when in reality, it shook me to my core and it hurt. And so the day I unfollowed the person on social media, it was like, God, this feels like a chapter closing, like there's no hope for this relationship left. But I had to let it go. I had to stop thinking that things would ever be different, and I didn't really want a relationship with this person anymore. And it was like, and I heard someone say not too long ago, I don't know who it is, but like, there's this idea of being the bigger person, and I think it's a lot of the reason we don't let go of things is because we want to be the bigger, better person. And I heard someone say the other day that the only person I'm trying to be better than is the me that is hurting and bitter and angry. They're like, I don't want to be better than the person who hurt me. I want to be better than the person who lets it control their life. And that hit me so hard, because that's what I was doing, is I wasn't trying to be a better person to be a better person. I was trying to be a better person so I could trump that other person. And that's not healthy. It wasn't because I wanted to be better. It was because I wanted to be better than them. And when I stopped trying to do that, it felt like a big relief. And it still hurts to think that I don't follow this person on social media anymore. I have no idea what's going on in their life. I'm not a part of a friendship that I was a part of for, you know, half a decade. Like, I was very much this person's friend, and now I know nothing about their life. And letting go of that expectation of being a part of someone's life when it doesn't serve you anymore. It doesn't help me, it hurts me, and I just have to let it go. And, you know, it happens a lot, letting go of toxic people, toxic relationships. It happens in families, it happens everywhere, and it's just letting go and moving on and being a better person than the person who lets it control their life. And that's what I was doing, is I was letting it control. It made me into a person I didn't like because I was so bitter and angry, and I still deal with those emotions, but now I deal with them in a sense of like, I'm gonna be better than that person. I'm not gonna be better than my friend, or my ex-friend. I'm gonna be better than me. I'm gonna be better than the person who is constantly angry, who can't stand the thought of them because, you know, they hurt me. I'm gonna be the person that picks myself up and moves on and says, I'm gonna let this go because it no longer serves me as a person. And so sometimes you have to do that. You have to say, I'm better than this, and I'm gonna move on. And, you know, it happens in relationships, it happens in friendships, it happens in work, it happens in just school and life, is just moving on from things that no longer serve you. You may really love them. They may have been nothing but a good experience, but I really encourage you guys to look at, you know, where you are in life and what things you might need to let go of. I encourage you, I think I've talked about this in another video, but writing down what your past truths were. So anything that you found to be true you know, growing up in the past couple years, whatever. Write down what you have been known to be true, and, you know, things that basically no longer serve you. Like, what are your truths? Like, for me, it was like alcohol is evil. You know, so many things, but I'll use that as an example. So for me, because of the situation I was in growing up, I said alcohol is evil, it destroys families, it's not great, it's horrible, no one needs to go near it, I hate it, anyone who drinks is a bad person. That was a truth that I had because of the experiences that I had. But that truth didn't serve me, because that was a judgmental truth. That was a truth that I knew so many people who drank and had fun, but were great people, and, you know, it no longer served me to think that way. So I wrote that down along with a lot of other things and said, these are the things that are no longer true for me, and these are my new truths. And I wrote down my new truths, and I wrote down the things that were like, alcohol is okay in safe doses, alcohol doesn't have to be evil, you know, like I wrote down things like that, and that is now my new truth. That is what I follow. The opposite may have been true in my past, but it doesn't have to be true now. And letting go of those things and saying, I'm gonna start thinking differently so that my life can be different. And it was a huge thing for me to do that. And I highly encourage you guys to look at your life and see what you need to get rid of and what you need to keep and hold close. And, you know, if it doesn't serve you, you don't need it anymore. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was kind of a quick one, but I feel like it was a good deep one, something to get off my chest. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And just to end this video, so that was it for the podcasty type section, but this is gonna be a quick personal thank you to me, not to me, from me, to you guys. And that is, you guys made one of my biggest life dreams come true this past week. And it may seem so small in the grand scheme of YouTube, but what you guys did for me this past week with that Look What You Made Me Do reaction video, it may have been dumb fun, it may have been nothing totally serious, but guys, this is what I want. And that was like my first taste of it. And I'm so thrilled that you guys enjoyed that video, that so many of you joined. And it was like this little mini dream of mine coming true, to see 100,000 views on a video, to get 800 subscribers from that video, to feel like, and it was about something I loved so much, and it was such a genuine emotion, and it got on the trending page for 48 hours. 48 hours on the trending page is crazy, and it brought out some of the worst people on the internet to that video. But you guys were so kind when all of these horrible people were saying horrible things that, whether or not I like to admit it, got to me a little bit and made me really stressed and really anxious and really unsure of whether or not I could handle this. You guys made it so special. And doing the live stream that I did, and there were like 30 to 40 of you that came and hung out with me and were so kind, and it just made me remember that the internet is not full of horrible people. No matter how many people call you a fat ugly whore that should shut her mouth and like kill herself, like no matter how many people say that, you guys are the ones that matter, and you guys are the ones that want to come out and hang out with me because you're kind, genuine people. And I just want to encourage you guys to never stop, because you never know how much that means to someone. When I was feeling really anxious and really overwhelmed, and I wanted to enjoy that moment so badly, and people wouldn't let me, you know, the horrible people there just wouldn't let me enjoy it, and I got really down about it. But doing that live stream just made me feel like I really could do this. And it may be hard at times, but I could do this, and I thank you so much for that. And you guys are so amazing and so kind and so wonderful. Thank you for all your wonderful messages, whether it was on Instagram or on the comment section or on Twitter or whatever. You guys are so kind and so wonderful, and thank you so, so, so much. Welcome to this little family. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go eat some lunch because I have filmed 3.5 videos today, so I'm starving. I love you guys so much. Be sure, if you want to subscribe to, first of all, to this channel, second of all, to the iTunes podcast, which is down below. I will be sharing this. I realized I just did this whole thing without putting in my podcast mic. So anyway, it'll be on iTunes. I hope you guys enjoyed it. In the meantime, my name is Parker. This is Stories in the Dust, and I really hope you'll stick around a while. Bye, guys.